we begin. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah. Hey. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Such a pleasure as always to be here. I am Rosemary Noni Knight. Rosemary Noni Knight. I am the prosperity minister and business coach for ambitious spiritual people determined to thrive, to prosper, to make at least six figures whilst living in line with your purpose. Now, there are stories that you tell yourself that keep you from ever being fulfilled or financially abundant, and that is your divine right, is to leave behind the pain, the limiting beliefs of the past, and to rise victorious in your true design life. Your true design life is a life of freedom, of fulfillment, of financial abundance, and a love drenched life. If you will claim it, if you will claim it, right now you should always just say that with me. If I will claim it. We're going to start with our affirmation, and then we're going to go into a few different stories that you're probably telling yourself. These are the most common ones that I've come across whilst doing lots of conversations with people. I've been doing this work for 10 years or something now. So, I've spoken to a heck of a lot of people, and these are the most common stories that keep coming up. And these stories, your stories generally, they can either disempower you, keep you playing small, keep you acting in a way that does not take you to where you want to go, or they can empower you and keep you acting in a way that always results in more success and more wealth. Okay. And the stories you tell yourself, unfortunately, you are quite used to the stories you're telling yourself. In fact, in some cases, you're so used to them that you do not even realize that these are stories that are keeping you from your destiny. So we're going to look at some of these stories as we go. But in the meantime, we're going to start with our affirmation. I am already loved. I relax because I'm already loved. I'm free to be me. You ready? Deep breath in and out. In and out. Be very present here. I am already loved. I relax because I'm already loved. I am already loved. I relax because I'm already loved. I am already loved. I relax because I'm already loved. I am already loved. I relax because I'm already loved. I am free to be me. I am free to be me. I am free to be me. I relax because I'm already loved. I am free to be me. I am free to be me. I am free to be me. I relax because I'm already loved. I relax because I'm already loved. I relax because I'm already loved. Woohoo! Relax because you're already loved, man. You're already loved. You're already loved. You can be yourself completely. First question is, however, do you remember who yourself is? Do you remember who you are before they told you who you needed to be? Do you remember who you are? But let's start talking about the stories, the various stories that you could be telling yourself that keep you from your destiny. And I'll talk a little bit about some of the behaviors that come as a result of believing the story and what the alternative might look like if you allow yourself to consider the alternative. Okay. One big one is I need to be perfect before I can start my business. I need to be perfect. I need everything to be perfect before I start my business, before I start looking for that relationship, before I start whatever it is. Okay. And the resultant behavior from that is that you start to procrastinate. You continually learning, getting more and more certifications and all of this and all of the other. And there's this internal fear of ever actually putting anything out there because it's never going to be perfect, is it? It's not going to be perfect. And you don't even know what perfect is. You keep moving the goalpost for what perfection looks like. And so months, well, weeks, days, years have gone by for some of y'all where you're waiting and waiting and waiting for that perfect moment when you can get going. But it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Okay. Now you believe that it will. Sorry, itchy nose. You believe that it will. You believe that you're justified in thinking this way, but actually you're not. Okay. That thinking in some ways it is an employee mindset where you're supposed to get everything right. You're so scared about making any kind of mistake. Honey, you cannot live in this freedom lifestyle. You can't think that way. You can't think that way. Okay. You need to start empowering yourself with the idea that progress is required more than perfection. Progress over perfection, progress over perfection, that you will learn as you go, that you will test, you will tweak, you will pivot when necessary as you go. Every single miracle I've ever experienced on this journey, every single miracle I've ever experienced is usually when I'm on the journey. I do not experience anything whilst waiting for perfection, waiting to get everything right, waiting to be absolutely certain of everything before I make a start. And there's no miracle there. The miracles happen when you start pushing on doors, and then the unexpected doors open. The ones that you didn't even think that this could lead anywhere, and yet you did it anyway because well, that was the best idea at the time, basically. And it may not have been perfect, but you did it. I mean, the behaviors that result from this need for perfection, they make you lose your self-confidence because you're waiting and waiting and procrastinating, and you start beating yourself up as to why am I not making a start? Why am I not doing anything? Because you're continually telling yourself that it has to be perfect before you do anything, that it has to look a certain way. It has to, enough. Better done than never done at all. Come on now, enough. Okay. So that's one story right there. Another one is I'm too old to start something new. I've worked with clients in their 60s. Yeah, 60s is the oldest so far. But I would be open to working with anybody anywhere because really I'm looking for an ambitious type, and it doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter what age you are. The problem is then when you tell yourself you're too old, and the crazy thing is the number of people I've heard this from, or the ages of the people I've heard this from. I've heard this from people in their 30s. I'm too old to start something new. Are you kidding me? And so then they stay stuck in their current career that they don't enjoy, but they tell themselves, well, this is as good as it's going to get. I missed all my opportunities. I need to just stay here. But what they're not realizing is that because of this story of I'm too old to start something new, they are literally cutting themselves off from opportunities that are right in front of them. Right in front of you, there might be opportunities. Like right now, an opportunity would be to go and get a copy of the 6-Figure Spiritual Business book. If you are that person that wants to coach, heal, teach, guide, counsel, that kind of a thing, get a copy of the book and use the strategy in there to reach people, to bring in paying clients. Now that's an opportunity for you, but you won't see it as an opportunity if you're telling yourself, I'm too old to start something new. I'm too old to start something new means that you just say, oh, well, it's over. But the only reason why it's over for you is because you've decided that it is. Okay. So if there's a part of you thinking that I'm too old to start something new, or there's a part of you thinking that the reason why my business is not working is because I'm older than all those young looking people on social media, for one, stop comparing yourself to anybody else out there. Enough already. Okay. Because the resultant behavior of that as well is that you do not really play full out because there's a part of you expecting to fail. And so you will get your expectation. You will always get your expectation. When actually a more empowering story and a more truthful story is that your life experience is actually your greatest asset. Your life experience is actually your greatest asset. Okay. So if anything, the fact that you've gone through everything that you've gone through, the fact that you have all of these stories, all these experiences, all this history can be used to support other people in accelerating forward if you will allow it to be. You can actually leverage your wisdom to build a very unique business based on your unique message instead of telling yourself a story of it's over for me. It's over for me. No, it's not over for you. It's not over for you at all, only unless you keep telling yourself that it is. So stop with the telling yourself that story. It's not true. The opposite of that one is I'm too young to do anything right now. I used to tell myself that story. Thankfully, I had a coach who said, what do you actually want to do? And I'm like, well, I want to be a coach, but I think I need to wait until I'm at least 52 or 72 or something. And he's like, no. Let's just get going now. And I'm so grateful that he did say that to me, or else I could still be waiting, for goodness sake, for that perfect moment when I have enough life experience. And then, yet there are people who have life experience that are telling themselves now that it's too late for them. Enough of the nonsense. Come on, it's just a story. And it's a story that can either empower you when you realize that your experiences actually allow you the wisdom to grow. Your experiences, whatever age you're at, okay? Your current experiences are enough to help somebody even half a step behind you. So stop with the storytelling. Stop with the storytelling, my loves. Okay. Instead, just keep reminding yourself, actually, no, my mess is actually my message. My mess is actually my message. I went through all of that stuff and for something. There was no waste to anything that has happened to me. I will use all of it to impact the people that I'm called to serve. Now that's a more empowering way to look at things instead of to start something new. Stop with the nonsense. Stop with the nonsense, my love. Stop with the nonsense. Okay. Another one is what is it? There's another story of I need to clear all my debts. Yes, that's another common one. I need to clear all of my debts before I can focus on building my vision or building my dreams or anything like that. It's a nonsense of a nonsense of a nonsense. Okay. Because actually the way you will create a lot of income that will help you pay off your debts is actually by serving a lot more people in the way that you are most suited to do. And the way you are most suited to do is when you follow your life's purpose, when you live in line with your life's purpose. Okay. Especially if you're that person who is called to coach, to heal, to teach, to advise and counsel, and you're probably already doing it for free. And now and actually what you could do is use that as a skill that helps people and makes you money. That money can then be used to pay off debt. You can't focus on debt paying off, debt paying off, debt paying off. Well, I know some people manage to do it, but they usually kill themselves in the process. Because by the time they paid off all the debts, so they can actually make a start, they are too tired and old to do it. You haven't, and the thing about it, but think about building a purpose-aligned business or life generally, is that the process of building that life turns you into someone who builds that life. Okay. That process is necessary for you to build an amazing life. And so all the delay you're delaying because you're waiting until you paid all your debts first, or you're waiting until everything is perfect first. All that delay, it's time that you could have been turning into the person who created your purpose-aligned business that makes you at least six figures. And it's where you're telling yourself a very disempowering story. And not only that, the behaviors that you're also going to never pay yourself. You'll always be paying other people first in order to pay off your debt. So you'll be paying the banks first, you'll be paying whoever you owe money to first. And that is telling yourself that you are not that important. I know it can almost, because it's so normal to think in the way of, I need to pay off all my debts before I can do anything fun. That is the normal way to think of things. But the normal way doesn't lead most people to anywhere good. So why go along with them? Common sense isn't going to lead to uncommon success. Okay. You can't. So I know it sounds so reasonable because that's what most people are proposing and telling you about. But I'm telling you, it's not reasonable. It's, if anything, that kind of thinking traps you in financial restriction. It traps you there. And you're busy telling yourself you're being responsible. Yeah, maybe by somebody's standard, I don't know whose, but it's not getting you what you want in life. And you will even get there faster, as in you will pay off your debts faster if you allowed yourself to make more money doing what you're actually called, born, meant to be doing. Really, really think about the story you're telling yourself. Really think about the story you're telling yourself, my love. Another story that you might be telling yourself that can sometimes hide behind the appearance of faith is this story of actually making money whilst living in my purpose or making money from my passion is not realistic. Now, if you've been in my world for any length of time, you know I say purpose alone will not pay the bills. So I get what you're saying, because if you do not partner purpose stuff with strategy, then yeah, just living in your purpose, there's lots of people living in their purpose who are broke. What I want for you is that you are thriving financially as well as fulfilled. Okay. So fulfilled because you're living in your purpose. Okay. So I want the both for you, money and meaning. And you can have both if you become strategic about it. But if you tell yourself, or if there's a part of you thinking inside of you that making money from my passion is not realistic, then again, you will either continue in an unfulfilling job or you will play at building a business, but never fully commit to it because there's a part of you that doesn't actually think it's going to work. That it's unrealistic. It's so you kind of dabbling, and you're very busy with your dabbling, but you're not getting anywhere. And I would ask you to check in with yourself, because you could be saying with your mouth that you do believe that you can make money doing what you love, but do you really believe it? Because your actions, if I was speaking to you, would I see the actions of someone who is very, very committed to actually building a business that will pay their bills and more, as well as change other people's lives? Or am I going to see somebody who is dabbling at it, who is quoting spiritualese, but not really fully playing full out for their business? Check in with yourself, my love. What story are you telling yourself? What story are you telling yourself? Now, a more empowering story would be that people do value what I have to offer. And I've said this affirmation many, many times before. My work equips people to prosper. It is worthy of rich reward and recognition. I can create wealth doing what I love. That's a story you can choose to tell yourself, as opposed to the story of, it's not realistic for me to make money doing what I love. Nonsense. It is realistic if you put a strategy behind it. It isn't realistic if you're just going to be praying and fasting and then not actually putting a real strategy behind it. There's nothing wrong with praying and fasting. In fact, it's essential that you do the praying and the fasting. However, that does not take the place of strategy. Okay. It does not take the place of having some kind of system in place that will actually allow you to make money whilst doing what you love. Okay. So when you tell yourself the story of, people value what I offer, my work equips people to prosper, it is worthy of rich reward and recognition, you are more committed to what you're doing. You will find a way to forward. But if you're harboring that crazy thought at the back of your mind, you'll find that you don't get traction because you're probably dabbling. Okay. Another one is that you another story here, another one that I hear very regularly, that it is selfish for me to want more when I already have a good life. This sense of guilt, that somehow you know more than others and you're doing better than the people around you, so why are you even wanting more? And you might even have people in your life telling you, come on, why can't you be satisfied with what you have? There's nothing wrong with discontent. It's a holy discontent. You are made in the image and likeness of the divine. You will always want to expand because the divine is ever expanding, because you're either expanding or contracting. Okay. There's no standing still for any length of time. You're either getting more restricted or you're getting more expansive. I would suggest that you want to keep getting more expansive. And instead of judging yourself for that ambitious nature inside of you, that you bless yourself for it, that you are proud of yourself for carrying such an ambitious nature, and you stop feeling guilty for wanting more. Stop feeling guilty for wanting more. Stop trying to pretend that being spiritual means that you're supposed to never want anything else. That is not spirituality to me. As I said, the divine is ever expanding, ever increasing. Why do you think you're supposed to stay small and play this small game? And I know sometimes there's certain verses and things that I know from the Bible. I don't know any other sacred texts as such that can be misconstrued to mean that you're supposed to play this small game because that's the way to glorify your higher power. Really, when you really think about that, what kind of small-minded higher power needs you to play small so that they can feel big? Seriously, think about what you're thinking about. Think about it. If any human being did that, where they were trying to make you squish you down so that they felt all good and really amazing, what would you think of that person? And yet we give this characteristic to your higher power. Really think about what you're thinking about. It isn't godly to play small. It isn't godly to pretend you do not want what you want, okay? And it is definitely not selfish to want more, regardless of how good your life is right now. There's so much that you're not experiencing yet. How dare you limit yourself and tell yourself some crazy story? A more empowering alternative would be my growth. It expands everybody else. My growth benefits me and everyone around me. My growth benefits me and everyone around me, because that is actually the truth. As you grow, you have more impact on the people around you. So of course, everyone benefits, including you. Okay. So yeah, pursue the bigger goals. Yeah. Set an example, be the way shower of what is possible when you really focus and make things happen. Stop telling yourself stories and living from guilt. That is not holy. It is not spiritual to think that way. Be done with that. I love, be done with that. Okay. Another story you might be telling yourself is that you should be able to do it all on your own. You should be able to do it all on your own. I agree that we need to be self-sufficient. I agree actually that you can even listen to the divine and get that guidance directly from the divine. But the thing I also know is that for the most part, a lot of people are not that confident in hearing directly from the divine. One, which isn't to say that you shouldn't learn how to do it, but also I know that the divine can use other people to get a message through to you. He's definitely done that for me on numerous occasions. When there are times when you're not at the right consciousness to hear what the divine is trying to say to you. So the only way for that message to get across to you is actually through another person. Okay. And because even if the divine is trying to tell you, you can't hear it, you can't see it yet. But then you hear it through somebody else and it's like a seed planted inside of you until finally, oh, that what you were trying to tell me. Finally, I get it. Okay. But then there's that side of things. But then for a lot of you, because of your past life experiences where people have betrayed you, people have hurt you, you have learned to not depend on anyone. And I get it. And I do, as I said, I'm very much about self-reliance. Absolutely. I do believe that you and the divine are enough. You don't need anyone, but you can want to have people around you. But in this instance, when your hurts are leading you, that's not great. Because then you'll avoid seeking help when you need to. You will avoid, you'll avoid seeking wisdom when you need it. Because there's a part of you that thinks that you should know everything. It should be simple for you, or people are not to be trusted ever. Somebody's always out to scam you. Somebody's always trying to take something from you, and you don't want to. You'll never be taken for a fool again. I get it. I get the hurt, and that just needs to heal. But you cannot make decisions from that place. Okay. Sometimes collaboration and support accelerates success. In fact, there's no sometimes about it. It's an always thing. Collaborating, allowing yourself to be in an environment with other people who are on the same journey as you, or preferably people who are ahead of you, so that you feel drawn up to their level. Okay. That will support you. That's why, being in a mastermind, things like that are very good, especially being in a mastermind with people who are more successful than you. Their thinking will start to rub off on you, and you will rise higher, no doubt about it. But if you're busy telling yourself, I should be able to do it all on my own, you are cutting yourself off from support, my loves. Enough, particularly in this community. For you, it's because of previous hurts, previous betrayals. So now you find it really hard to trust anyone. Enough. Heal so that you stop getting in your own way. Heal so you stop getting in your own way. You know when the divine is trying to get somebody's attention, or get your attention through somebody else. Okay. But whilst you're busy trying to shut off from everybody and putting on a facade of everything is fine with me, you are cutting yourself off from the support that you could have. Okay. Another story that people like to tell themselves, particularly if you're an introvert, and you know what, as much as you might see me and think I'm super extroverted, the truth is I thrive in silence. I thrive on my own. There are times when I really just don't want to speak to anyone. In fact, there's a lot of times when I really don't want to speak to anyone. A lot of times when I really just want to shut off by myself, and that's it. And in fact, if you see me in my more regular everyday life, I am usually the woman on her computer in the corner of the room somewhere, busy either reading or working, whilst everybody else is having a chat about who knows what. Particularly as a home educating mother and taking my children around places, I'm not the woman that is in the middle of everywhere being super extrovert and super this and that and the other. But yet there are people who think that to be in business, that success in business is only for extroverts, it's only for risk takers, it's only for those loud and proud people. Like, you might see me and think that's who I am all the time. I'm willing to do what I need to do to get your attention. Absolutely, I am. But who I am, I am a mixture of both. There are times when I'm the life of the party, but as I got older and wiser and became more self-aware, I realized that actually a lot of that life of the party version of myself was more because I felt that's what I needed to be in order to be liked, in order to be noticed. And less and less do I care. Ultimately. But when it comes to, yeah, I love doing things like this because I come out here, I talk to you guys, I'm cool with this. It's part of my purpose. But it doesn't mean I'm this loud, proud person all the time. Okay. You don't have to be either. You can find the things that suit you and use those to promote your business. Okay. You don't have to do videos all the time. You don't have to do anything all the time. There is something that you can do, and you can do a lot of it. Do a lot of what you love to do. It's not about being an extrovert. It's not about being this super out there somebody. No, it's about you finding your unique way of putting your message out there and then doing a lot of that. Okay. It is your uniqueness that is going to make you successful if you embrace it instead of judging yourself as somehow less than. You are not less than. You are enough. You are enough. Okay. So embrace your style and find success on your own terms. That's what you want anyway. We're not building businesses so that we can all look the same as everybody else. That's what jobs are for. Okay. So we're building businesses that are somewhat a little bit different from each other one. Yeah, there might be some generalities that are the same, but your uniqueness needs to come through. So no, it's not just about being extrovert. It's about being you, whoever you is. Yes, if you're making that decision based on fear, then that's not what I'm talking about. It's like I like to say to clients, do you not want to do this because of fear or because actually it really does not suit you? There's a difference. Okay. Now, if you're doing it just for fear, then we need to get you doing it. But if it's because it really doesn't suit you, we can find another way that does suit you. There's so many different ways to promote your business, so many different ways to come into a relationship, so many different ways to do anything. So why do you think you have to be stuck with doing things just because everybody else does it in a certain way and now you think you have to follow along with them? You don't. Okay. You can find your unique way of putting yourself out there. Okay. Something else that people sometimes get worried about and that then causes them to pull back from playing full out in their business is, if I succeed, people are going to judge me and think I'm just about the money or tell me that I've changed. You know what? I wrote a post once about, yeah, you say that I've changed, but actually I've just found myself. Because for some of you, and I say this all the time, business growth is an extreme form of spiritual growth. It is also an extreme way of you getting to know yourself again. So yes, it will look like you've changed, except really you haven't changed. You've just really fully become yourself. But if you believe this story that people are going to judge you, people are going to think you've changed, people are going to think you're just about the money, again, you're going to sabotage opportunities. You're going to feel like a fraud. You're going to keep staying small in order to blend in. And you might be working very hard, but still what you're doing is what you're subtly doing is keeping yourself playing small, but appearing as if you're working very hard. And that sometimes is the issue when you're trying to figure this stuff out alone. You don't always notice the sabotaging behaviors that you're taking because you think you're working very hard. Usually what happens is that the people I'm speaking to who are doing this thing where they're actually hiding whilst pretending to be out there is that they're doing a lot of back end work. So they're working on their course and they're working on their book and they're working on their plan, their business plan, but they're never actually out in the marketplace doing anything. But they're working very hard on making sure that course is absolutely perfect. They're working very hard on making sure the book is amazing. They're working very hard to ensure that their business plan is formidable, and any bank would throw $1 million on them. But then nobody ever sees this stuff because they're forever working on it. So worried about what people will think of them if they actually get out into the marketplace. Enough of that. A new story could be, my success actually will inspire other people and it will also attract the right clients to me. Okay. Now that is a more empowering story. That is a more, people love to hear from me. People love to buy from me. People always prosper when they work with my work. So instead of focusing on the ones that may judge you, because yeah, some people might think you're getting too big for your boots. And how dare you think that you can live that life, blah, blah, blah. That's up to them. What people think of you is none of your freaking business. Okay. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Stay on the narrow path is what I like to say. Stay on the narrow path. The broad path has lots of people already and they're going nowhere. Stay on the narrow path to success, to wealth, to freedom, to fulfillment, to financial abundance, to a love-drenched life. Stay on that narrow path, okay? Understand that your success, you become the thing that the way shower for other people. Your success will inspire them. Some of them. Some people just don't want to be inspired at all. It's up to them. That's not even your concern. It can no longer be your concern. Yours is to live your true design life. That's that's where your focus needs to be. Creating the life that you're meant to be living. Okay. Another story is, particularly for spiritual people, this idea that you cannot, you can't make lots of money and also be true to your spirituality. It's a nonsense of a nonsense. And so, because then when you believe such things, you start under earning, as in because you're underpricing. You start avoiding profitable situations. You start feeling guilty around money, or you probably already felt guilty around money, which is why you even had the belief in the first place. Okay, when actually, if you really think about it, the more money you create, the more support you can actually be in the world. The more of a difference you can make in the world. Whether we like it or not, money talks in this world. You want to make an impact, you want to change things, honey, make lots of money so that people listen. Okay, people listen to what you have to say. In fact, if anything, your wealth will amplify your impact. Okay, and it'll allow you to serve more people. You need to start seeing it that way instead of seeing it as some kind of deterrent to your spirituality. It isn't a deterrent to your spirituality, my loves. Okay, so instead, when you believe that your wealth will actually create even more of an impact and will support even more people, then you're able to take better actions because you start charging what you're worth. And you start using money as a tool for good instead of thinking of it as some kind of curse. It isn't a curse. Money is just a lifeless thing that you get to decide how you're going to use. So how do you choose to use money? That's the question. That's the only question that is worth answering, really. Okay. The divine is not withholding anything from you. You are the only one determining whether you're allowed to make this money or not allowed to make this money. Okay. It's up to you. It's up to you. It's up to you. Another one I hear a lot from people is, oh, I don't have enough technical skill, so I can't run an online business. What I always like to say is, honey, if you can copy and paste, if you are watching me right now, then you have enough skill that you can develop in order to make a business. I am not technical, and yet I've built an online business. I learned what I needed to learn, okay? Because I sat in front of the computer and learned it. Now, if you come and work with me, I set out everything, as in I break it down into little videos that you can follow in order to do this stuff. And frankly, in this day and age, you don't even have to do most of the technical bits yourself. Now, I personally I like my clients to know what they're doing so that when somebody else is doing it for them, they know what they're expected rather than just accepting whatever this other person tells them is the truth. Okay, because I've had people where they've tried to work with somebody else, and because they themselves didn't understand what was needed to be happening, this person can be talking any kind of nonsense, and they just go along with it and bamboozled. They're bamboozled by the whole process. They don't know any better. This person is taking ages to do anything, and they think that's just the way it has to be. And it's like, no, honey, no. To build a landing page, to build a landing page, what else? What else is there? Really, a social media page. To start your business, what do you need, really? Some kind of landing page, somebody can sign up for your free gift. Some other landing page, so another landing page, so somebody can sign up to have a conversation with you. Social media page, okay, the chances are you already have one of them. A PayPal button, you can get that quite easily. What else is actually really, somewhere to store emails. So something like Aweber is what I get my clients to use. If you have those things, that's enough to get going. And they're not, the first time you try and connect them all together, it's going to feel like, oh my gosh, my head is going to explode. But the next time you do it, it'll be easier. And the time after that, it'll be easier because you'll understand it. And then you can get lots of anybody else to help you with it. You do not need to be crazy technical to get a business off the ground. I am definitely not. I just learned exactly what I need to do. And that's it, because I'm not a marketer. What I am, and I'm not a tech genius, what I am is a messenger. What I am is a prosperity minister. And that's where I want most of my focus to be. So I do the simplest thing I can do to get my message out. And so can you. Okay? Because the thing about believing that you need to be some super tech savvy person is that you then avoid building an online business, which will allow you to reach so many people all over the world if you master it. Okay? And you can master it. You are capable of learning new skills. You are capable of outsourcing things that you really, really can't do. So embrace technology and grow your freaking business and stop telling yourself stories of, oh, I'm not technical enough. You don't need to be that technical. You just need to know a few basic things and you can pick any of those things up. Okay. Okay. The whole idea inside of you that no one in your circle has ever done what you're trying to do, so it's probably going to be impossible for you. Now, this is one of those ideas, particularly for ambitious and spiritual people, that just lurks in the back of your mind. It's not something you actually admit to, but again, I can see it in your behaviors. Your behaviors is what will tell me whether what you're believing. Okay, which is why I like to do this remove the blocks one-off session with people, because sometimes you don't know how you're holding yourself back. And so you come and tell me your story in the session. I can start to see what are the underlying beliefs that causes this person to act in this way. And then I point them out to you so that you stop allowing those ideas to keep controlling you. Okay? You can be the way shower. You can be the trailblazer, for goodness sake. You can set a new standard. But instead, you're telling yourself, well, nobody else has done it, so therefore I can't either. Enough of that story. Enough of that story. Okay? Become the one who does it. Be the one that wins. Be the one that wins. Be the one that shows the way for everybody else. Be the one that breaks generational curses. Be the one that creates generational wealth. Come on now. Be the one that shows the way. Do not quit until you are that person. Do not tell stories until you are that person. In fact, whatever story you're telling, let the story be one that empowers you, not a story of, well, it's because nobody's ever done it. So I know I didn't have the support. I didn't. Enough of the storytelling. Well, at least the disempowering storytelling. Choose instead to empower yourself with your stories. Okay. Another one. I need a lot of money before I can start a business. I was speaking to someone, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, talking about, oh, well, the reason why I can't start is, in fact, lots of people say this to me. What am I saying? Lots of people say this. Oh, the reason why I haven't started yet is because I don't have the funds. It's like, yeah, well, that's usually the reason why people do start, not the other. That's usually why all of us started businesses, because we wanted more money, because we didn't have as much as we wanted. And so we thought, you know what? I need an unlimited way to make money. A business. Woo, let's go get that off the ground, basically. And yet a lot of people use that very same reason for the reason why they're never going to start. It's like, oh, no, I don't have no money. That's why I'm not going to start a business. That's the reason you should start. Okay, so it's a rubbish story, particularly if you're a service provider. If you're a service provider that you are providing the service, how much money do you actually need to get going? You know, the things I mentioned that you need to get a business off the ground, maximum, maybe, I don't know, $50. No, maybe, okay, maybe, yeah, $50 for the first month. If you really push it all out and you get clients in, you paid all of that back quickly. And I know, okay, if you've never done it before, then chances of you doing that in the first month, you probably may or may not. But stop thinking you need some big, massive amount of money. Or stop choosing business ideas that have nothing to do with your purpose, but because you think they're practical, that you think you're going to go with it, but then you choose an idea that needs a big lump sum. So you need to have a shop front, and you need to have this, and you need to have that. And it's like, well, you could have chosen a different business idea. You didn't have to go with the most expensive one, ultimately, when you know that you're starting from a place of not having that much money. So can you see how you might be sabotaging yourself? I've had that conversation with people before where it's like, yes, I need this and I need the other and I need the other. It's like, why? Why do you need any of those things? And why, particularly when you don't even enjoy this idea that you have for a business, it's not even, you don't even sound excited about it. You're just doing it because you think it's a way to make money fast. If you're going to give your energy to anything to create a business, you may as well give it to something you love doing, because it takes the same amount of energy to build a business you love as it does to build a business you hate. So why not give all your energy and your love to building the one you actually want to be doing? Come on now. Surely this makes sense. Surely that makes sense. And yet I see people, when you're being driven by fear, you're driven by crazy stories, okay? You start thinking stupid things and you believe them to be true. And then you start acting based on those stupid things. So if you believe that you need lots of money to start a business, you keep waiting. You never start. You're waiting for you to have enough surplus income. And we live in a day and age when, frankly, the world is not designed for you to have extra money sitting around in your bank. Okay? So if you're waiting for that to happen, you're going to die before you actually live in your purpose. If you choose the most expensive business idea to get off the ground, you're going to die before you get it off the ground. Okay? Are you done? Are you done with that? You can start a service-based business based on your skills, your wisdom, and it doesn't take much to get going. It doesn't take much to get going, okay? You just need to be committed and determined. And that's an empowering story to tell yourself. All that I need to get my business off the ground is my tenacity, my resilience, and a strategy. So you mix that together, honey, Nothing can stop you. Nothing can freaking stop you when you stop stopping yourself. Okay? Okay. There's many other things. Another one. Oh, I have to wait until my kids are older before I can actually focus on my business. Some people use their children as a reason not to start, and other people use their children as a reason to start. Which one is the most empowering version for you? I would suggest that instead of using your children as a reason not to do something, you use them as the reason to do it. My children were my biggest why when I got going. It was because I wanted a different life for them. That's one of the biggest reasons why I picked myself up and got on with it. Don't use your children as an excuse not to live in your purpose. We're going to say the empowering version of the story is I can be a great parent and I can be a role model for what is possible, particularly if you have girl children like me. I want them to know it is absolutely possible for them to make their own money as well as have a family if that's what they want. Okay, you can integrate both your family and your business life together. It doesn't have to be some separate thing, and you don't have to kill yourself in business in order to you don't have to kill your relationships at home in order to build a business. Those two are disempowering stories that people believe, and then they hold back from playing full out in business because they think, oh well, if I play full out in business, I'm going to lose my family. It's not an either or. You can have family and business. Okay, you can have family and successful business. You can, if you allow yourself to. These hidden stories that you tell yourself, my love, these hidden stories that even I told myself for a long time, and it took a lot of unpicking, a lot of being willing to see myself for who I am, being willing to work with other people who could help me see when I was sabotaging myself. And maybe you need to come and have one of my remove the block sessions with me, because then I will help you see what's going on. In order to access one of those sessions, you either need to message me about a private session, or you need to get a copy of the book, and then you'll hear when I'm advertising it on my email list. So get a copy of the 6-Figure Spiritual Business book, and then you'll come onto my email list, and I will tell you, well, from time to time, I advertise these private sessions when I have room. Okay? So many different ideas, so many different disempowering stories, and each person has their own. But I'm going to stop here for today. Did any of those particularly speak to you? Do you believe any of those stories? Are you holding yourself back as a result of believing any of these stories? Are you done with that? I hope so. I hope so. I really hope so, my love. The marketplace is waiting for you to finally rise up and start living your purpose, start sharing your message, start calling in your clients. Are you ready to live the free, fulfilled, financially abundant, love-drenched lives? Then, honeys, if your answer is yes, you cannot afford to keep buying into disempowering stories. And any story that you tell yourself that stops you from moving full pelt into living in your vision is a lie, and it's disempowering. And you need to shift it, reframe it, reinterpret the story, because there's always a different way of looking at things. The same situation could be happening to two different people, and one person interprets it in a way that disempowers them, and the other person interprets it in a way that empowers them. The one that empowers moves on into greater wealth and success. The one who believes the disempowering story starts acting in a way that then results in them being more restricted and more unfulfilled. Which do you want? You can look from the fruits of your actions of what is happening. Okay, now, yes, I know that sometimes there's a transition period of time, so I don't want you sitting around judging yourself, but I do want you to be free. So if you can't figure this stuff out alone, ask for help so that you don't spend another day, another week, another month, another year stuck working your ass off and getting nowhere. It's time to wake up, my loves. It's time to freaking wake up, okay? You are already loved. You are free to be you, as our affirmation for this week goes. And it's time to stop buying into disempowering stories. Okay, well, I would strongly urge you to get a copy of my book, The 6-Figure Spiritual Business Book, if you're an ambitious spiritual person who would like to transform people's lives and get paid well to do it, and you want a strategy, a clear business growth strategy, step by step, explain to you exactly what to do in order to grow your business. Get a copy of the book, okay? Until the next time, my loves, it's been a pleasure as always to share this stuff with you. Share this with somebody else. Get a copy of the book. I look forward to seeing you in my world pretty dang soon. Much amazing love. Bye.